Well, thank you for having me on your show.
No doubt. All right, we're going to be on right now. Welcome back to Politickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Right now, we're live on YouTube, and make sure you check us out on Spotify, we're on Amazon, iHeartRadio. 1212, I'm a place to be with Haley Jane. How you doing?
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you
Doing
for
good.
having me on Politickin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I see you're, I read a lot of things about you. I read a painter, designer, recording artist. I read mixed media. I read a lot of things.
Right.
So artist, I see that.
Yes, I'm a painter, designer, artist. I actually just bought a DTG machine, so I'm actually printing my own clothing now too. So learning that is like a whole nother challenge. As an artist, like I love different mediums and learning different mediums and yeah, just like finding out new ways to create.
Mm. So let me know about your background, like just your earliest memories of the arts.
I started painting when I was like really young. When I was a little girl, like if I didn't have somewhere to draw, like I would start drawing all over my body.
Mm.
And so I just like fell in love with art. And I went to the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. I also did a study abroad in Paris, which was amazing, but I was only 19 when I went. So that was like a challenge because I didn't know like French and just like learning the culture and trying to get around to going to like museums and stuff like that was so crazy because man, like, I mean, if you don't speak the language, it's like, how do you get around, you know? And then after that, I took like a long break from doing art. And then I came back to my love about like, I want to say 2 years ago. And that's when I fully started my business. I started Haley's Art in 2009, but I took a hiatus, like I said, and then I came back 2 years ago and I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. So I like put my fear aside and just went all in. And then I started Dream World Clothing February of 2019 as well. So that one started after I created a bunch of t-shirts because I went to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. And one of my friends that was putting together all these art shows, he was like, create 50 t-shirts at least to sell there at these art shows. It doesn't have to be a bunch of designs, just do like one design and then like sell them there. So I created a bunch of t-shirts and then I gave them to like my stylist friend and he surprised me and put it on Ludacris. And he sent me some pictures of Ludacris wearing it on stage. And I was like, oh my God, like, what the heck? I need to start a clothing line now. And so then I started Dream Worlds because I was like, I might as well start a company where I can put my artwork in like a different medium. Because like fashion is a form of art. Painting is a form of art. Ceramics is a form of art. Music is a form of art. Mixed media is a form of art. Like there's so many different forms of art. So like I just decided to do fashion as like another form. You know what I mean? Because I'm already doing like all these different like types of art. And I had already started doing like hand painted clothing when I was 19 before I went to Paris. And I didn't know how to like silk screen or like do graphics or anything like that. But I was trying at the time. And then it's funny how life comes like full circle. And now I'm actually doing like direct to garment. I don't know how to silk screen myself, but I was doing my artwork silk screen, but like through a company as well. So
Yeah, I
so
read
that's
that
kind of
you.
like my background.
I was reading that you like you kind of mentioned it, but I also read that you was like giving close to like E40 and Kick the Sneak.
Those were the hand painted ones that
Mhm.
I started doing when I was 19. So yeah, so I did different pieces of clothing. Like I remember I think I was like 19 or 20, something like that. I created a t-shirt for E40 and it was him holding a jug of Carlos Rossi. I like hand painted it. So it was like, themed towards him. So I gave that to him at the studio. One of my friends was doing like a session with him, like a recording session. So he was like, why don't you come in there and give it to him? And so, yeah. And then Keek, I did that, yeah, around the same time. And I had a lot of friends that were like working with him as well. And then I'm friends with his wife, Tiandra, as well. So,
I mean,
you
you
know,
were saying when you was talking about you, when you say you took a hiatus,
I
I was
did.
like, I was going to ask you what happened.
What'd you say?
Why did you take a hiatus?
So like with art, it's really hard to, like a lot of artists, they don't say that they're really talented. And this is for like music and a lot of different types of art. Sometimes artists don't have like a business mindset, and they don't understand like how they can take their art and put it into like, you know, like out there for people to buy, and what their target market is and how to market themselves, and stuff like that. So at the time I was just very like, there's no set way to sell art or become a successful artist. It's not like you take a degree and or get a license and you become the successful artist. It depends on who likes your art, if they like what you're creating. It's if people can actually see it, like if you know how to like actually put it on a website to sell, or if you know how to mass produce things. It just takes a lot of research and figuring out when it comes to fine art, because there's no set way to like become successful. So that was one of the biggest challenges for me, was figuring out like my own kind of formula to start selling and creating things that people liked. And like, so that took a long time for me to do. I went and got my cosmetology license, because everyone was like, well, why don't you do that so that if the art thing doesn't work out, you have something to fall back on. So I ended up doing that. I did hair for a little while, and then came back to doing art, because that's ultimately what I wanted to do. Hair wasn't my first passion. People would come in there and they want to look a certain way, and they're not happy with themselves. So then they're not happy with certain things, because they want to be like, they're like, oh, I want to look like Cameron Diaz, or I want to look like this celebrity. And sometimes their hair doesn't look anything like those people. So I was good at hair. Don't get me wrong. I was good. Okay. But yeah, it wasn't my passion.
I would say, is that your art in the background?
It is. Yes. These are my vinyl pieces. I can hear it. My laptop over here. I'm like, my battery is kind of low, so I can't really do it for that long. But so these are can you see them? Okay, there we go. Yeah. These are like my vinyl pieces. I'm trying to get it's hard to get it with the computer. Oh my God. No, so this is Rolling Stones, obviously. And I took one of their albums and then I cut it out with a wood burning tool and sanded them and then glued them to a wooden board.
Wow.
Then I have I have a bunch of them. I have Tupac, Jay-Z. I can get it. There we go. Jay-Z. Michael Jackson is up here.
Oh, that's all right.
Like Frank Sinatra. It's hard to like do this with a laptop. With a phone, it's a little easier.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I have like a bunch of different artists. I have like a little home art gallery, basically. Like my whole stairwell is of paintings.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So describe your creative process.
It just depends on what I'm creating. I usually like to have a theme, because most art shows, they want like a theme of what you're trying to portray to the viewer or the audience looking. And so I'll just take, for example, I did a whole series with maps. So I took mixed media and they're maps and then like comic strips, and I put them on canvases and then painted on top of them with inspirational quotes. And some of these quotes were like, happiness is not a destination. Lose your way, find, what did it say? It said, lose your path, find your way, lose yourself, or wait, what is it? Hang on, I'm gonna look it up, because it's not my quote, it's somebody else's, and I loved it and I fell in love with it, because that all has to do with like finding happiness and finding yourself. And our lives are like a map, and it's like a journey. We have to find ourselves, find what direction we want to go in, find out who we are and who we want to be. And sometimes for people that takes a long time and they have to lose themselves before they can actually find themselves. So it says, let's see, sorry. Lose your path, find your direction, lose your way, find yourself. And then I had this other one where I took like flight passes from all the places that I went to, like over a year period of time. Cause I knew this person that worked for an airlines, and I had not a buddy pass, but I had a flight pass, so I could fly anywhere on standby. So I would fly like all over the place, all over for free on standby, of course. But so I took all these flight passes and I made them I put them on a canvas, and then I put those same kind of quotes. And one that I did with the flight passes, it says, "They say the sky is the limit, but for dreamers, the sky is home." So I just take like inspirational quotes and then I like make them into like, like these mixed media inspirational pieces. So that was one theme that I did. Another theme I did was music. So I did the vinyl record art. So I took, people's vinyls and then cut their faces out of them. And then I did, to go with that same series, I did this, it's a wooden, I can actually go upstairs. Might be kind of hard to see with the laptop, but. So it's a wooden piece that's a wall hanging. And then I put the outside of people's album covers on it, like almost like decoupaged. And then I had someone put speakers in it, and it Bluetooths to your phone, so you can play music on it. So you can kind of see it.
Your thing right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's in the shape of a music note. So I created this.
Like, how you been coming up with this stuff though? Like, where you are you meditating? Like, what you be doing? Like, how you get the ideas to even think?
I don't know. These ideas just come to me. It's weird. I don't know. I'll just like think of a theme, and then the like creative juices just start flowing. And then I start thinking of like, how can I actually put it together? How can I like make it happen? And how can I, put it into existence?
Oh. I'm on your art page right now. Is that the same one on your art page?
I think so. You're on my website or my Instagram?
I'm on your Haley's art page.com.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I see some more. I see some sculptures. Yeah,
and I have that music note piece too on there. So it actually has a car stereo on it. So like I said, it like plays music from your phone, Bluetooth. That's pretty cool. I was going to showcase that at Art Basel, but they canceled Art Basel this year because of COVID, unfortunately. Hopefully next year hopefully this year they'll have it up and going again.
So what are your current projects right now?
I actually put together a whole project of music. So I recorded an album with someone named Class, and it's almost like R&B mixed with like rap and pop music, like a mixture of all three of those. And it's I really like it. I'm excited for it to come out. We just have to finish like some fine tuning things, like we have to finish like graphics and legal paperwork and, figuring out how we want to market it, music videos, all that kind of stuff. So once we do that, then we're going to release it. But we're thinking of calling it Work of Art. So yeah, I'm excited. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I'm also working on, I'm doing an electrical box in downtown Sacramento. In downtown Sacramento. So it's one of my paintings, and then they put a wrap over it. So I don't have to actually like go down there and paint it. It's just, they're just going to take one of my paintings and then put the wrap around it. So they're doing, I think, electrical boxes all over downtown Sacramento. So I'm doing that. And then what else am I doing? I have my clothing line too. So I have my clothing line in 20 different stores right now across the United States. I have one in Little Rock, Arkansas, a store in Virginia, a store in near Chicago, 3 stores in Memphis, a store in Vegas, a showroom in LA, a place in Antioch, Stockton, New Jersey. It's hard to remember all the different ones. But yeah, so I'm like building with that. And so like I sell to these stores wholesale. So I create the designs, they're my original artwork. I print them, I manufacture them, and I ship them to the retail stores.
Mm.
So I'm just working on that as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, like you was kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but what advice would you give to like any artist as far as like getting profit off their art, building their brand up? What would you tell them?
That takes time. Definitely, for sure, it takes time. You have to be at the right places at the right time where there's quality customers, people that are like going to appreciate your art and not just try to, get free things or, just look at it and be like, oh my God, that's amazing, and then not buy it. So you need to be at events that are like worth your time and worth, investing your time and creating art for these certain events that are worth it. Some art shows are a waste of time because they don't have the clientele to bring to your art show. And so it's kind of like you're just hanging art and no one's buying it. So it's like, why do that? So going to like art conventions, Art Basel is amazing because there's a lot of traffic that comes there. I don't know what it's going to be like now, just, because of what's going on in this world. Just being able to figure out how to market yourself and who your target market is, like what people like your art and who will buy your art and who you're creating this art for, what type of people. And once you figure that out, then you can figure out how to be at those events where those type of people are going to be and figure out what kind of art they're going to buy. It's like the main thing if you want to sell stuff.
Who are like your top 5 favorite artists?
Living or dead?
I mean, it don't matter, whatever. I mean, because
My
they
favorite
can be
artist.
dead, but they still living in our mind, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Their art lives forever.
Mm-hmm.
I love Van Gogh. His art is just it's so colorful and I just love it. Starry Night is one of my favorite ones just because the sky is just so chaotic, but yet the whole painting is very calming when you look at it. So it kind of reminds me that like within the chaos, there's also serenity. You can find peace within yourself no matter what's going on. So I love Van Gogh. I also love Leonardo da Vinci, just because at that time period, it just makes you think like, how the heck did he paint these intricate paintings on the ceiling? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And yeah, so it's just very inspiring to just, when I went overseas, I got to study these artists and then get to see the artwork in front of my eyes. So that was really cool. So those are 2 of my favorites. Who else? I love Rodin. He was a sculptor, and Picasso, because he did mixed media paintings and mosaics and sculptures. So I really like him as well. So
That's cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, what if we already talked about who's some of your favorite music people?
I like artists, musicians that can like play instruments. I also like artists that are versatile and like not just singing, but also can like, are lyricists and also can sing. People that are like versatile. So I do love Drake because he can rap and sing, and he can go into different genres. Like he did some Afrobeat songs. He's done like, R&B, rap, hip hop. Like he kind of jumps genres, but like people accept him, and they can like record labels can still market him because he's Drake. So it's just like seeing him like build himself to what he is today and the talent he has is pretty awesome. you know, I like, of course, the legends like Tupac, Biggie. I love Erykah Badu. I love Sade. She's just so peaceful. Like her music is just so calming. And when I was in art school, my ceramic teacher used to always play Sade when we would like make sculptures. So I love her too. I don't know.
Now I'm gonna say, do you ever have like, do you know ways like, do people, you know how like say if you get like creative block or burnout, like how do you overcome those things? Or do you
Sometimes
usually
I
get it?
get creative block. It just I don't know. It's I think it has a lot to do with who you're around, like what you're putting in your body. Like when I like some people can create really well if they, you know, are smoking weed or drinking or whatever. But for me, I can only create when I'm sober. I can't be like I can't have anything altering my mind. Like my creative juices just flow once I'm like, you know, I'm in my space. And especially if I'm going through something. If I'm going through something, my creative juices can flow like crazy. So I think that's kind of like something with artists. A lot of artists, I think they're like almost like not tormented. I wouldn't say that. They're like melancholy, like they kind of go through a lot. I mean, look at Van Gogh. He cut his ear off for a for a prostitute. So it's like, you know what I mean? So to be able to think differently, you have to go through certain things and overcome them. And once you overcome them, then you see this like enlightenment. And then you are able to put how you feel into something else and put that energy into something else.
You know, what's your like your most favorite piece of art that you did so far?
Probably this ceramic piece that I did. It's actually right here too. I don't think I can ever like sell it. If I sold it, I would probably sell it for like 25,000 or something because it's so intricate. It took like a month to do, and I won first place at the California State Fair for this when I was 19. No, actually, it was 18. I just turned 18. So I think that's like my favorite piece because that's when I realized like I really loved like sculpture, and it was like my first award, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I could be an artist. And then like after graduating high school, I was like, crap, like how do I do this? You know what I mean?
Can you put a plant inside there or no?
You can, but the thing is that so the inside is glazed, but the outside it has only glaze like within the like the negative areas where like I've carved. So like if moisture it gets on the parts that are like rubbed, because I how I did it was I put glaze all over everything and then I rubbed it off around all the areas that are like raised. And so if moisture gets on those raised areas over time, it will start deteriorating the clay.
Oh, okay.
So I would have to put a glaze over those areas first before I would have to like be able to put a plant in it for it to stay okay.
And then what would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
To just keep, you know, hustling and keep pushing for your dreams and just always like keep trying no matter how many times you fail. Always illuminate the vision of what is possible. Because if you put your mind to something little bit by little bit every day and you really try at something, eventually you can succeed at something because you're putting your effort into it. If you're lazy and you're like, oh, someone else will help me, someone else will take care of it, and you don't really like fully go forward in your dreams and what you want, then it's never going to get anywhere. So like not to be like codependent on somebody else to like push your dreams, but to really like do it for yourself, figure out how to do it yourself. Because ultimately like you have your best interest at heart. A lot of people, like some people have, you know, a support system that like will help push them, but ultimately you're going to get your own stuff done. Like they say, if you want something done right, then do it yourself. Like at least learn how to do that first. So if the person that says that they're going to do it for you doesn't follow through, you know how to do it yourself and you can get it done. And like just keep pushing and making it happen. What'd you say?
No, I said then you're not dependent on nobody, like waiting on them to get it done for you.
Exactly. So yeah.
Then I will say, yeah, thanks for coming through politicking with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah,
And thank you for everyone tuning in. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
no doubt. You what's your social media and everything?
My IG is Haley's.jpg, and that's HALEYZ.jpg. And then my clothing one is Wear Dreamworld, and that's WEAR Dreamworld, and that's DREAMWORLD.
You got any shout outs?
Shout out to UBO Magazine.